this offseason, Colorado brought in Coach Warren Sapp, and he's, I wanted you to discuss his impact here. Here you see him working with the D-line here. Discuss his impact, how he'll impact Colorado's defensive line, specifically with that 3 technique position where he played.
Look, I love football. It's awesome. He's trying to help us coach up. And Warren Sapp's a Hall of Fame 3 technique, and Coach Lewis is a former first rounder. And I played with Coach Lewis in St. Louis for a small time, for the time that I was there before West Nile virus. That was fun. But Coach Sapp, look, how can these kids not get better if they want to? If you have any talent inside of you and you're at the University of Colorado, you're recruited by this group, all right, they're not out there recruiting just some fucking guy. They're trying to bring in dudes, and everybody looks like a dude out there to me. It looks like a real football team again. So I just look at all this and I don't see how you can't get better. So, it's impossible not to improve when you have that kind of greatness around you and when you have those kind of guys pushing you, because every kid standing there playing in Colorado uniform is looking at Warren Sapp going, well, fucking 30 years, that's where I want to be. I want to have a gold jacket. I'm going to listen to this dude. I want to go in the first round. I'm going to listen to Coach Lewis. It's just the way it works.
Yeah. And I made a video on this months ago talking about Coach Sapp. I know, as a kid my age, if I was a defensive lineman and I was coming out, I would look at Coach Sapp like, hey, that's exactly who I want to be. So I'm going to, listen to his instructions. He's going to teach me habits that others won't be able to, because he's been there and done that. So I'm going to really take that and run with it. How do you think that'll impact, specifically the 3 techs on that defensive line?
Well, as a former 3 technique there, I'll tell you, it's, if you don't have a man at that position, you're going to lose. Period. So it was Bannon before Brayton, and I was right after Brayton, and it was, George Hippolyte right after me, and then it was Mustafa Johnson. And if you don't have a dude at that position, you're fucking dead. So no offense to some guys I didn't, mention or anything. Will Precheck was a great 3 technique there. Actually, another guy got moved to offense. But at the same time, you got to be able to control the B gap, because it's a sieve point. If you can't control the B gap on offense, look what happens last year when you have 2 weak guards and you can't control the B gap. You average 2 fucking yards a carry. When you can control the B gap with 3 technique, you dominate offensive lines. When you have an offensive line that can control the B gap and double team the fuck out of 3 techniques, and even take a good 3 technique and make them average the way, like, let's see, my senior year, we went into the Big 12 title game to play Oklahoma, okay? And Oklahoma brought out Davin Joseph, Jamal Brown, Jason White, J.D. Runnels, and Adrian Peterson, okay? So Davin Joseph and Jamal Brown are both first-rounders, and the center is Chris Chester, who played in the NFL for 12 years. Yep. And that was one of those circumstances, a 3 technique, where the guard and the tackle are both equal athletes to me, where most of the time I'm better than most of the guards. That it's just like the NFL. When I got there, and they were equally athletic to me. So they were like, well, you should move to guard. And it was a great transition, because then I knew where I was going. That's a different story. But what I'm saying is, when you play against those kind of guys, they negate strength. So if I'm the defensive MVP my senior year on my team, and we go play Oklahoma, and they just double team me the whole fucking game, which is what they did, they beat the piss out of us. And it was just, Adrian Peterson went for like 230 yards or some shit. So, it's a tricky question, because you want to be good at every position, but you have to recruit. If you want to play over-under defense, and you want to play bad motherfucking defense, okay, with Warren Sapp and Coach Lewis out there, a first-rounder and a Hall of Famer, and another first-rounder, you've got to go recruit a bad motherfucker to play. So hopefully that green kid is that bad motherfucker.
Yeah, no doubt. And last point I wanted to make on this, and I wanted to ask you, with Coach Lewis and Coach Sapp, being coaches of Colorado, being former NFL players, what advantages for them being coaches and former players do they have that other coaches wouldn't, being able to, and how would that impact the Colorado defensive line?
Well, look, most coaches have played. There's not a bunch of Todd Haley's out there. Yeah. You just have to take each grain from each coach differently and apply it the way that you play, because each player is different. So everybody's motivated by different shit. Everybody's doing this for different reasons.
True.
Some guys are doing it because they're getting an NIL check and they're good at it, and they just don't know why they're good at it. And some guys work their ass off to be good at it and really love it. And some guys are gonna like be over recruited and suck. Kermani McLean, Marcus Houston, Greg Oaks. I mean, they're fucking littered. We had 36 guys in my recruiting class, and 11 of us left. So the battle of attrition here is, can you recruit the right guy mentally when everybody pretty much looks the same physically that you're recruiting? So that's going to be that's the key, and the coaches have to tap into that shit. I don't know how that's done, man. I'm not at the University of Colorado. They want that secret. They should hire me.
Real talk. Hey, real talk. That's funny.